Welcome to another episode of the e-commerce lab by Ecomcy, the place for everything related to Amazon, FBA, private label, and e-commerce. My name is Vincenzo Toscano, founder and CEO of Ecomcy, and today we bring you another special guest. His name is Gilad Freimann, and he's the founder and CEO of VAA Philippines, which is actually a virtual assistant company that helps you find the best people to help you scale and grow your Amazon business. So, what a better person, right, to actually talk about today's topic, which is a very interesting topic, which is about how you can find the perfect VAs to helping them scale with you your Amazon business, right? So welcome to the show, Gilad. It's a pleasure to have you here. How you doing today?
Thank you for having me. I'm doing great, and I'm really excited to talk here answer your questions and you really explain from my experience of how to work better with VAs, how to find them, and so on. So I'm excited.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. I mean, I know you're the guy to go when it comes to virtual assistants in the Amazon space. And I think for sure, when everything that's going on in the commerce space, that things are becoming more complex, more things to manage on a daily basis. I think for sure, finding the perfect partners when it comes to bringing them on board in your business is key nowadays to scale your Amazon business. But before we
Definitely.
jump into talking about virtual assistants and going in depth about the process and everything, for sure I want to give you a few minutes so you can introduce yourself, just talk to the audience about who Gilad is and how you got started into the e-commerce space. Yeah.
All right, sure. So, well, my name is Gilad, and I'm the founder of VA Philippines and the CEO. I am an Amazon seller. First of all, I started together with
Awesome.
my wife an Amazon business in 2015. We started selling on Amazon. Everything was great at that time. It was really completely different than
Yeah.
selling
Good
today on.
times.
Yeah, so we took some pictures of camping hammock that we started selling private label with our phones and started
Yeah.
selling. It was different, but it was great, and the business was growing. And sooner we than later we understood that we have to expand by delegating work to VAs. It was obvious to us from the beginning, and the problem was not the understanding of that you need to delegate. It was really like how you should find the right VAs. I posted an ad. I thought, wow, I hope that somebody will answer, and I got like 300 people applying, pretty much within like
Wow.
2 hours. And then
Yeah.
it turned out that the problem would be, to filter the right person. And
Mm.
I really went into it. I interviewed, I think, maybe like 50, 60 people over there.
Yeah.
So hours of talking on, listening to the CVs of people that are reading what they have to say about their experience and all that. And eventually I managed to filter all of them to one person that she looked to me like the best person for the job. And I then started training her on everything that I knew about Amazon, which took about, I think, like about a month.
Yeah.
And after about a month of, she took all the training and started working. And pretty much like about a week later, she just disappeared. I
Yeah.
woke up in the morning. I sent her a message, no response. Afternoon, no response. Emails, no response. And
Yeah.
then it took me some time to understand that this is actually happening to me. And then you have to start all over again from the
Yeah.
beginning, because it's not enough to go, okay, I will go to the next person in line, because that person is no longer available. It's been a month and a half already. So you really have to post another ad, and it was a disaster. And the second time it lasted a little bit longer, but eventually the result was the same. I started to get excuses and not
Yeah.
showing up on time, and it took some time to realize that actually I knew nothing about hiring good VAs. Even though
Yeah.
I thought that I would become really good. I have the good instincts. I know what it means. I know how to understand their experience. And once we got to second VA, third VA, fourth VA, we really realized that we need to have expertise in finding good VAs and training them, and more important, making them stay with you in your business. And this is what we're doing now. VA Philippines, we specialize in finding good VAs in the Philippines, recruiting them after a very long process of filtering, and then training them on everything they need to know about Amazon, so they could help Amazon sellers, and really supporting them along the way. So this is what we do now. And I'll be happy to share here a lot of the
Yeah.
knowledge and things that we do, both on training and on finding VAs.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that journey with us. I mean, I totally relate to you the same. I had experience in the past hiring VAs, and for sure it's not some. I mean, most people think it's something simple, but yeah, if you don't have the right communication, the right expectation, the right training, it can
Yeah.
become very messy as you start scaling, right? So I think the number one question most people will ask themselves when they are watching this episode is, why do you think it's super important nowadays to have VAs in your business to scale your Amazon business? Why would you say to your clients when they come to you, it's key to have them nowadays in your business? Yeah.
Well, I think that the problem that we see in e-commerce, and we see it less and less these days. But when I started, and in the last couple of years, it was really a problem that people thought that e-commerce is like an escape to an additional
Mhm.
job that they can
Yeah.
put on the side. And then they don't hire VAs. They think that they can do everything themselves. They really see this differently than this is their business that they're now building for the long run, and it's going to be like any other business. They have to put all their heart and soul into it. In the beginning, people thought that okay, I can put an hour a day,
Yeah.
and I do everything myself, and I took a training, so I know now how to do customer service and shipment
Yeah.
plans and inventory management, and I can do some graphic designing or post here and there on Facebook, and that's it. So I can do everything themselves, and then it's becoming more difficult to delegate and to let go, because you really think that this is what you should do. The problem that people later on found out that it's actually not working. I mean, it's not working that you cannot maintain a big business. It is okay to do 1 hour a day if you want to keep it small, very small even. But if
Yeah.
you really want it to become your business, that will give you the profits that you want for the long run, and really let you go for for having like a business that you can have enough funds to grow and scale and so on, then you have to see it as a business like anything else. You would never think of, I don't know, opening a restaurant or opening a shop, by yourself. You know that you have to delegate. You know that you will have to hire personnel, and you have to take commitments even before the first customer will show up in your door.
Yes.
So the same thing. Once you realize that, then the understanding is very fast that you have to delegate, and you cannot do the Superman hero syndrome all your life. It's what people
Yeah.
think, thought of maybe in the beginning, but and now that if you want to expand, you have to understand that eventually you will get tired. You will start making mistakes. You will not see this
Yeah.
as a fun journey anymore, because you will have to more and more and more tasks to do all day long, and then
Burnout,
you will,
basically.
yeah,
Yeah.
and you will just just take off fires instead of seeing how you can grow your
Yeah.
business. So
Yeah.
that's where our customers are already coming to us, usually when they understand this, when they know that that's the key to start growing the business. When you start to delegate things to other people, so you can focus on growth, on learning high level topics, and
Yeah.
really like scale. Yeah.
Yeah, 100% with you on this. I mean, I think the mistake some entrepreneurs we make is that we feel like nobody can do a better job than us, right? So
Yeah.
we go into that cycle that, yeah, nobody can do it better than me. I need to be controlling everything. And the reality is that it's impossible to scale a business, right?
Yeah.
With that mentality, right? So I think other question that people make themselves a lot when it comes to start outsourcing is, what is usually the first thing I should outsource? I mean, because the reality is in a business, there are so many things you can outsource. You can do customer service, you can do your PPC, listing optimization. I mean, there are so many ramifications within an Amazon
Right.
business. So, how you usually advise your clients and entrepreneurs that come to you that they want to start this journey of finding VAs to find the first area within the business that they should start outsourcing with VAs? Yeah.
So, good question. I think, first of all, regarding to what you said before, I think it's crucial that the seller would understand that being perfect is only the key to to staying small. If
Yeah.
you want to grow your business, you have to accept that things will not be as perfect as you want it to be, because you're not going to be doing everything yourself. And yeah, the idea is that now you have to develop your skills of managing a team and making their mistakes to become perfect later on. But you will always have to deal with things that are not perfect in the beginning. And once you know that, then it's already a very fast way to growing your business. And I think the answer to your question is like, you have to think where you're stuck. And where you're stuck is either that you don't you're stuck in things that you're doing again and again and again every day,
Yeah.
and it taking all your time and effort. For example, if you're doing customer service, or you're all day long
Mm.
you're spending finding the
Mm.
next product, or all day you're spending in communicating with your Chinese supplier on Alibaba, or if that's, you have to think of where you're stuck and spending so many hours a day that somebody else can do for you. And the question
Yeah.
that you should ask yourself is that, is the thing that I'm doing now, or the task that I'm usually doing every day, are they only able to be done by myself? So somebody with my skills, my capabilities, my decision making level, or somebody else with the right training, with the right attitude, with the right capabilities, but somebody else can do these tasks for me, even if they're not perfect. And if the answer is yes, somebody else can do it for me, then you should delegate immediately. I mean, that's because then you're just wasting your time, and instead of learning, spending it on what's more crucial to your business.
Yeah.
That's one option. The second option is to think about all the things that you're not doing at all at the moment,
Mm.
because you're focused on the urgency, because you're focused on for example, if somebody is sending you a message on Amazon, then you have 24 hours to reply. Then you're doing that instead of posting on Facebook, for example.
Yeah,
So
for
you have to
sure.
think of the things that you're not doing at the moment at all. For example, are you doing a good enough PPC work by
Yeah.
yourself? Are you sitting every day, or you just you created some campaigns and you just look once in a while
Yeah.
to see that everything is okay? So are you doing it at all? Are you posting every day or every week at least several times on Amazon posts, on Facebook, on Instagram? Are you working a lot with influencers? Or these are all things that you're saying, yeah, when the business will grow, then I will have time to do this. When I'll get to 100K a month, then I will
Yeah.
but you will never get there if you're not looking to go
Yeah,
to that direction. So
for sure.
you should think also of the things that you're not doing at the moment, and saying, okay, maybe the reason that I'm not doing them is because I'm stuck here, and I need somebody to take it off from my shoulders.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Awesome.
that's the second thing that you should think of.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think the same. I think the number one point, I totally agree with you. I mean, there's people wasting so much time on admin things that you can just delegate, create a single SOP, and people to just follow on a daily
Yeah,
basis. That because at the end of the day, for us entrepreneurs and the person that usually create the brands, your value is more at the high level, right? The strategy, how you're gonna bring new products to the market, how you're gonna
right.
keep expanding. So things like that. So if you spend all your daily time on replying to emails, realistically you're gonna get stuck in the long term, right?
Exactly. You're wasting your own money by on doing that,
Yeah, for sure.
because your time is more valuable than answering customer service, or doing shipment plans.
Yeah, 100%. Now, let's say the person makes the decision, okay, I want to hire a VA. Usually the
Hmm.
next steps is creating basically what are you looking for, right? The
Hmm.
basically the job description, what kind of candidates you're looking for. So I would like to start touching slightly on what are some of the tips or some of the strategy usually you advise your clients to put on the description to make sure that you can realistically find what you're looking for on a virtual assistant for your Amazon business. Yeah.
All right. So, I mean, I can tell you the way that we're doing things here at VAA, that we've been doing this for the last 5 years. VAA was founded in 2017. So, we got quite good in finding VAs in a different way. We're not actually looking for their resume so much. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
we take this in consideration. Obviously, when we're looking for a PPC VA, we're definitely going to be interested to see that
Yeah.
they're coming with a background of working with numbers. They have good, control on Excels, and they're good in analyzing things. But it's not going to be the most important thing of their skills, especially if it's an Amazon VA that you're gonna train to do Amazon related tasks, that you don't really need somebody that come with a background. It's nice to have, and if you post an ad now on Facebook or on different online jobs or any other platform, you will get 300 people applying to you. They will all say that they're
Yeah.
experts. They will all say
Yeah.
that they have already worked with two, three, four, five different sellers before. They have expertise of 5 years doing, working on Seller Central,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
in many cases it's not even relevant. I mean, usually if you're hiring somebody who's coming with 5 years experience, then the rate that they're going to ask is like almost like 3 4 times higher than a regular
Mm.
VA. And it's not necessarily mean that you're going to get better job if you're going to look like 2 months ahead. 2 months
I
ahead,
see.
I mean, you can take a VA and train that person on doing customer service and shipment plans, and you will get the same results. So why pay 3 times more? And
Mm,
also, just looking at the experience will not tell you anything about this person potential. It will not tell you anything about their
mm,
if they're motivated enough, and if they're eager to really work with you for the long run, and capable of learning complicated things that will come, all these changes on Amazon, if they're able to learn them fast enough and apply them correctly, and if they're dedicated to you, or they're just looking for another line to put on their resume for the next person, so that they can hire, they can have another higher rate. So these are things that are much more important when hiring the right person, compared to just looking at their resume. So my first tip is, think what you need, think what are the must have qualities. For example, like I said, PPC guy will need to have some sort of background in working with numbers, but don't just stuck on there and see that this person was working for 5 years doing PPC for
mm,
other companies. It's less important, and especially, like I said, if it's Amazon Seller Central tasks. So the first step will be that. The second step will be to think that you should not go to interviewing all these people
mm.
before even doing some filtering pure, because otherwise you will spend the next 40 hours interviewing people, or you will spend the next 3 hours interviewing people, and after 3 hours you say, okay, I got enough, I have enough, I just hired the best one out of these four people that I interviewed. So the best
Yeah.
way to do it is to already implement some questions
Mhm.
in the document that you will send to people in the request for applications, and you should start filtering people over there. For example, you should even see if they're paying attention to what you wrote. A lot of people in the Philippines, all over the world actually, but a lot of people in the Philippines, they just copy paste
The
something that they
same.
prepared in advance,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and they send it to 1,000 people a day, and so they're not really spending any time in reading what you have to say over there. and
Mm.
um, and you want people that are interested in what you have to say. You want people that are
Yeah.
dedicated to you, and it's important for them to work specifically for you. So a good trick that a lot of our recruiting department are doing is that you implement the question, for example, like send this your resumes not to here but to a different email address. So
Mm.
they have to read
I
the
see.
everything that they wrote over there, and they have to copy the email address and send it over there. And you're not looking at any resumes coming directly to your post, only the people that used this specific email. And you can tell them, okay, go to Amazon and check for the number one ASIN under camping hammocks, and tell me what's their price, or send me a
Yeah.
screenshot of the best photo over there. Something that will take them a minute to do, but it will separate them from all the others that didn't want to spend a minute, or didn't
Yeah.
read it,
Yeah.
and then you already have people that are a little bit more dedicated compared to the others. So instead of 300 resumes, you only have to worry about 100. And
Yeah.
we do this recruitment process for about 2 months. So
So
in
yeah.
the end, we
Yeah.
filter it. We filter about we're left with about 1 to maybe 2% of the applicants, because it
Very
takes time.
nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
very nice tip. The question one, yeah, for sure. I think I also remember having that experience that you just get copy paste. In fact, I remember sometimes they even forget to change the name of the
Yes,
previous
yeah,
message, and,
definitely. Yeah.
and they just copy paste the same thing over and over. So yeah,
We see
great
this
tip.
happening, dozens of times per day. We have about 50, 100 people applying to us every day, so we have to create better ways to really find the good VAs.
Awesome. Yeah. So I think another thing which is also a challenge I see happening a lot when people start hiring VAs is also expectation, right? I think
Hmm.
some people feel that as soon as they hire a VA, the first day they should already understand what they need to do. They should have already understand your systems. And the reality is that you need some time to adapt. I mean, realistically, I would say
Definitely.
at least you need a month or so for them to understand your business, to understand your SOP. So can you realistically explain what are the expectation or at least the timeline you usually see on a entering a business, and how what are usually the process you should put in place to make sure that integration is done correctly, right?
So I think the number one quality here that you need as a seller hiring VA is patient.
Yeah.
You should have patience, and you should understand that this will is something that you're doing now for the long run, but it will require you some time and effort, not just to find the VA, but also to onboard them and train them, and making sure
Yeah.
that they will stay with you for the long run and keep them interested in your position for the long run. So there's a lot of things here that you have to take care of, and understand that it's not something that you're hiring a virtual assistant. And maybe it's our problem because we're calling it virtual assistants, but it's
Yeah,
actually hiring an employee to your business. And if
yeah,
you're hiring an employee to your business that will sit in your office next to you, then you know that you have to be there and assign somebody to that to this new employee to teach that person everything that they will need to do, to support them with mistakes, to answer their questions, and so on. So there is an onboarding process that takes, like you said, almost a month, in which the more you will be ready for it, the more you will create SOPs, the more you will create videos of your
mm,
trainings, and give it to the VAs, and test them after that, then the easier it will be for the long run. But it will take your commitment, and your expectation should be based on the fact that the VA will not be understanding everything about your business in a day,
no,
and
mm,
nor they will do the things that you do now in the same speed within a day. You should expect that if you're doing something that will take you 3 hours a day, then the VA will do it in 6 hours a day in the first week, and then
yeah,
after that it will maybe be 4 hours and 3 hours,
yeah,
and eventually they will do it in half the time that you're doing it. But it will take some time, and if you don't have the patience to wait, then you will complain
yeah,
after a day. I'm doing it 3 hours a day. The VA is doing it for 6 hours a day. It's not worth it for me. I'll continue to do it myself. And then
yeah.
this is where you're stuck, because you just decided that
It's
your
a
limit.
vicious cycle,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah, you just decided that your limit is to stay where you are. So I mean,
Uh,
that's something that you should definitely understand. Avoid mistakes. And I think another important thing is that you should understand that you should treat your VA as an employee in your office, first of
yeah,
all, like not
correct.
like a virtual person, like a robot that is there. All you need to
Yeah,
do is to assign them tasks and see in the
yeah,
morning that they did a task, and send them another task, and do it. Because then eventually, okay, you will get all things done, but the VA will not really feel committed to you or
yeah,
connected to your brand by any means. So they will feel completely free to leave you at a certain time if they
yeah,
find another opportunity. And exactly the same like you did if you have hiring somebody in your office, that you will do everything in your power to make them stay with you for the long run, because they will give better and better and more value to your business. Same thing with the VA. Make sure that you have communication, talking with your VA, having video calls with your VA.
yeah.
Not every day. You don't have to spend 3 hours a day talking about their families every day, but you need to, to a little
I
bit
love that.
be
Yeah,
concerned about their situation, learn, maybe even visit them
yeah,
in the Philippines, have all these phone calls, give them some, share with them about your business. A lot of sellers are afraid to share anything about their business to the VA. Tell them that what's your expectation. You're starting small, but I want to raise your payment in a year from now, and I would want to hire more VAs in the future and have you as the manager, and I want to give you the next benefits, in the future, and these are the benefits. And at the moment we're selling in this level, but our expectations, the targets for next year will be this, and I want you to be in charge. Not even in charge, but to understand where the business is going.
yeah,
And a lot of people are avoiding that because they don't want to feel that the VA is getting too involved in their business. I don't know why. They
yeah.
don't want that the VA will think that they have a chance to get better paid, because they want to keep the VA in low salary, and you're just basically harming your way to succeed. I
Yeah,
want my VAs to get higher paid, because I want them to get more responsibilities. I want them to get to be better people, and to really push my business to the next level. And this is what I'm doing with VAA. All our staff, they're getting higher rates, as more they stay with us, and they're getting benefits, and they're getting our feedbacks all the time, because I want them to be connected. We visit them in the Philippines. We create meetings and meetups and social gatherings, because we want the VAs to feel connected, and we want them to really be a part of this group and community, so they stay with us for years because of it. So you should do the same.
awesome. Yeah, I like your point here. I mean, I think the fact that you touch on how they actually proper employees of your company, right, are just a VA and they see it just as a robot, I think is super key because I feel sometimes people don't have that human touch, don't have like a human interaction with them, like asking about their family, how was your weekend, uh,
Exactly.
uh, basic things like their birthday, because I feel they have the mentality that they're just there to serve you, but the reality is that you're also there to serve them. I mean, they're your employees and you should treat them fairly. Otherwise, in the long term, it's gonna happen that they're gonna leave, they're gonna stop replying to you, they're not gonna be efficient, and that's gonna be just affecting your business in the long term, right? So it's
Exactly.
not Great.
Exactly.
So I think you also touched on a very interesting point, which is the fact that also a lot of Amazon sellers don't like to share too much with their VAs, like their
Uh-huh.
business insights, numbers, maybe documentation. So can you briefly maybe give a few tips about how you can put some systems in place to make that confidence be built between both parties, right? Because I feel like if you always are the difference that you feel they're gonna steal your ideas, that they're gonna do harm to you, or they're gonna hack your account or whatever, realistically, that relationship is not gonna grow, right? So, what
Yeah.
advice you usually give on that scenario? Yeah,
So first of all, you should be careful, but never afraid to grow your business. When delegating, when taking another VA, another employee, somebody to partner in your business, you're taking a risk. There's always a risk, but that's the risk that you're taking if you want to grow your
yeah,
business. If you want to
yeah,
do everything yourself, then you're taking a minimum risk. But then you have limits, and you will never exceed these limits. So you should be always careful not to give all the responsibilities and all the knowledge to your VA, on day one,
yeah,
and you should create like user permission
yeah,
and even sign an NDA contract with the VA and so on. But and put a lot of time in recruiting the right people. But eventually, you will have to take these risks. That's first of all. And second, about the processes, I think a lot of people are not hiring VAs because they mentally they're already in the part of hiring VAs. They already know that they should delegate. They already know what they want to delegate to the VA, but they're stuck in the process of I'm now building the platform, I'm preparing the
mm,
arrival of the VA and creating SOPs, and then it takes forever, and they are stuck,
mm.
and things change, and they need to update the changes and all that. And I am a strong believer in running and correcting things while you run.
Yeah,
So
learning
you
as you go.
start doing things, and the way to do it is by hiring a VA, even if you have no SOPs whatsoever, and start creating these SOPs together with your VA. Make your VA responsible for creating your SOPs. And so instead of now creating a documentation and everything, share a screen with your VA, record a screen, show the VA how you do things. For example, how you do shipment management, how you do PPC, how you do whatever it is, customer service, and record everything that you do. And then you give the VA the opportunity to watch these recordings again and again and again until they are completely sure. And it's even an advantage, because if you're just teaching your VA without recording it, then most likely a VA will not ask you questions in the beginning, because they will.
Mm.
It's really like the first communication that they will have with you. They will not want to feel that you will think of them like as stupid, or
Yeah,
that maybe
that
they're not
correct.
understanding. So they will not ask anything. And when you're recording this, you're giving them the opportunity to watch it again and again, and go do some researches and find the right answers, and then create the SOPs according to your videos. Now they will submit to you an already prepared SOP according to your video. Now you can go over the SOP and see if there are any mistakes. It's really a great way for you to see that they understood everything. And even if
Awesome.
they didn't understand anything, you find these places, the gaps that I didn't think about it. They found a
Yeah,
point over there that they didn't understand correctly, but maybe we didn't talk about it. Let's move on and create another video now about this specific topic, and then another SOP is born. So
very
that's
nice.
that's how you move forward, by creating your structure in the same time. So I'm a strong
Awesome.
believer in that.
Very nice, very nice. So now to start concluding today's episode, also making a point on things that you just mentioned, which are the SOPs, videos, and training. I think my last question, which I think people is gonna find very useful as well, is what is usually the tools or software you recommend to make this basically task communication, like the SOPs, the videos, the daily communication, deliveries. So can you briefly mention some of the tips on that perspective as well? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I tell you what, when we are connecting a VA to a seller, for example, then we have a meeting, especially explaining the seller about all the different tools that are available, and there will be focused on either communication, which in the
Mm-hmm.
beginning could definitely be like emails and
Yeah.
WhatsApp, which is very easy to use. After that, once you have, you start to create a team of VAs, you can use Slack, which is great in
Yeah.
order to create a team's work. It's almost like WhatsApp, but for
Yeah.
business, and build for bigger teams. And you could start understanding how to work with task management tools such as Asana and Trello,
Yeah.
and creating SOPs and all that. So there are a lot of tools out there. that we explain about. But a lot of times it's easy to find, and what we do is we train our VAs in addition to their Amazon training. We train them also to use and to understand how to use with all these major tools, either Asana on Trello or Monday, or on Slack, and everything like that. And these tools continue to be upgraded and updated all the time. So it's important that the VA will not only know about these tools, but also continue to learn about them all the time. For example, Helium 10, it's not enough just to show the VA that you're using Helium 10. We create trainings about Helium 10 all the time. We every update on Helium
Awesome.
10, every new feature,
Yeah.
then we make sure that the VAs, they are aware of all these changes and updates. And a lot of times we are trained by Helium 10 about these tools. So it's important that we not just learn about the tools, but also continue to check always for updates. Yeah,
Very nice. I like that. Yeah, I think what I like a lot about your company is that you focus on Amazon, right? So
yeah,
as you mentioned, there are so many other companies that help you with finding VAs, but the fact that for us Amazon sellers, we need people that already have a training, they have some basic understanding, and I think that's key. So yeah, thank you for doing that for the community, 100%. So yeah, Gilad, let me for sure give you thank you for coming to the episode. I think everything you shared today is very valuable. So I think you have convinced a lot of Amazon sellers to make the jump and try VAs for the
yeah.
Amazon business. And I think for all those people that are interested and for sure want to get in contact with you and your company, can you briefly give us your links, social media, anything that they can use to get in contact with you and your team? Yeah.
Yeah, I think that, if you feel like you're ready to hire a VA, and you want even just to talk with me or one of my staff, to understand what are your possibilities, which tasks to delegate, and so on. So we'll be happy to talk to you. You can go first of all on our website, which is www.vaaphilippines.com, and you'll see a lot of information, useful information about there, either on the blogs or the different departments. Just to explain a little bit about us. We recruit VAs from the Philippines. We train them specifically on Amazon. Like you said, we
Yeah.
have an Amazon department, which is basically everything about Seller Central. We have PPC department focused on that. We have social media department that is focused more on creating brand awareness outside
Yeah.
of Amazon in order to bring people back into Amazon. And obviously, we also have graphic designers and video editors. So you can go on our website and mark down that you want us to contact you, and or schedule a call with us. You can also send an email to service@vaaphilippines.com, and we'll be happy to help and schedule a call with you.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Gilad. So definitely looking
Sure.
forward to have you on the next one. Yeah, thank you for being here. Okay.
Bye. Bye.
Bye
Take care.
bye.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure.